growing up that people told him someday you're going to be a coach, and now he's the head coach of the Duquesne Dukes, taking over for his coach, Keith Dambrot, and now running the program at just 39 years young. Dru Joyce III is our next guest on Off the Carousel here on the field of 68. Duquesne coming off a season in which they stunned BYU in the NCAA tournament. The Dukes were the story of it, first time in the modern era, and they've won a tournament game. And Dru, congratulations to you on this opportunity. I know how emotional you got during your introductory press conference. What is it like fulfilling a dream?
Well, first off, thank you, John, man. I appreciate being able to join you here on the show today. And, I did hear that I had, the right tools to be a coach very, very often. It's almost like, man, I couldn't let all those people down, but it was my own dream. It was my own dream as well. I think back to the times as 12 and 13 years old and running my dad's camp, running Coach Dambrot's camp and coaching the AAU teams if they needed to feel for me to fill in. And, it's a special thing when you see a dream of yours come to fruition. You never know at the end of the day if you'll reach your goals or accomplish those things. All you can do is put your best foot forward and give everything that you have to it. And that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to build my resume in all different sorts of ways. I try to foster my relationships and make sure that I treated them with care and kindness, and hoping to one day be able to get to this point. And now that I'm here, I'm loving every moment of it.
I got to imagine the last 2 years for you have been quite the whirlwind from the time that you came on to Coach Dambrot's staff. He was coming off of, as you said, the toughest year of his career, and so he offers you the opportunity. Obviously, you've brought it up. We knew it wasn't going to be he wasn't going to be at it another 10 years. But if I told you 2 years ago when you came onto his staff that you'd be the head coach of the program 700 or so days later, what would you have said?
Oh man. Let me get ready. No. Oh no. But honestly, the opportunity to work with Coach Dambrot was huge. I spent my first 3 years with Coach Dennis Gates, and that was a great experience. He was a first-year head coach. He was locked in, and we just hit the ground running. And then the opportunity to work for Coach Dambrot, and the phone call was different. He was coming off not only a tough season, but a tough moment in his life. He had just lost his father. So there was a lot going on. And Coach Dambrot doesn't ask for help too much. That's just not what he does. He's always been able to get things done by himself. He works in that manner. And, for him to say, hey, I want you to come help me, that was big. And I knew it was important then. I didn't know within 2 years that his decision would be to step down and retire. I did know he was, towards the end of his career, and this was kind of his last go around. And I thought that was also something that I wanted to be a part of. Meeting him at the age of 12, going through the basketball camps, having him coach me in high school, rejoining him, at the University of Akron for my college years as he coached me there too, to now have the experience of being on the sideline and sharing the sidelines with him is something that, I didn't hesitate. I couldn't pass up. I just appreciate being able to see him. As a player, you don't see everything. You see the guy come in each and every day and he's trying to motivate you and get you ready. But to see all the behind the scenes things that he does to make sure this program stays afloat was remarkable, especially going into year 39 and 40 of his career.
I want to go back to those roots that you talked about, that it was your dream that you had to become a head coach, to be in the chair that you're in now. Obviously, people are going to see your dad in the way that he has been able to have success throughout his life, and winning a national championship in 2003, St. Vincent St. Mary, the legendary stories there, documentary, all of that. What do people not know about Dru Joyce II that has helped you in your journey?
I think, naturally you see the winning. You don't always see the details that go into it. So for my dad, he didn't play high school basketball. He didn't play college basketball. He played pickup occasionally. And our first, the very first team I played on, the only reason why I could play in that league at 7 years old is because they forced my dad to coach the team with no basketball experience. They said, if you want your son to play in this league, you're going to have to coach a team. And that's kind of where the journey begins. But to watch how he learned each and every day, fundamentals, drills, strategies, like I tell people all the time, it was an amazing experience because we were actually learning the game together. I was learning how to play. He was learning the ways and disciplines and coaching of the game. So what people don't, I guess, miss out on it after all of these years of what he's done, you kind of think that that this guy has got it all figured out, but he continues to learn each and every day. He challenges himself, and I think that's why he's been able to have the success that he's had. Um, he always prides himself as, "Hey, I'm a learner. I'm a learner." So there's no information that's too good for me that I'll, turn my nose up at. So and I think it's helped him throughout his career. So um, I take that lesson that I learned from watching him go through those stages. I take that into my career as well.
Was it always going to be Akron for you out of high school? Was it always going to be the Zips?
No. Honestly, I didn't have anything coming out of high school. I didn't have any Division twos, no Division threes. I don't know why I never got any mail or any calls for that reason. Maybe they thought I was on the brink of being a Division I player, but I didn't have any offers. I walked on to the University of Akron. So I called them. I knew they would accept me, so I was more of a preferred walk on. Um, and I just took the opportunity and went from there. So no, Akron, it played out. I probably could have taken that opportunity to do it elsewhere. But me being who I was, I had a chip on my shoulder. Excuse me, sorry about my light. uh,
You're
I don't
good.
have this
You
office
actually
all the
didn't
way
even go.
figured out
You
yet.
didn't even go. You didn't even go that dark.
Okay, it'll pick up. It'll pick
Yeah,
up at some
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But um, no, I had a chip on my shoulder to prove that I was, a Division I player, and I wanted everyone, even in my own backyard, to know that nothing was given to me that I had to earn it. So, no, it wasn't always going to be Akron. It turned out to be the best decision, one of the best decisions that I made, though.
What was this past season like for Duquesne, for the program, for the school, for the community that you try to now take with you and move forward and show people, hey, this is what we did. Now this is how we can move it forward.
Yeah, if I could describe it with a word, I would say uplifting. Um, you seen a community around Duquesne that may have experienced the winning years and years ago, but for many, they hadn't experienced the success that we had, and there was a lot of joy and passion around it. Even, the young students that attend here, though, the freshmen that just enrolled here at the university, or the people that have been going to class here the last few years, they didn't have a chance to in years past to experience, the success from a sports team, winning a big time championship the way we did. So in order to keep it going, it's just hard work. you know, pressure is something that people will say is going to be on our shoulders or on our backs, but honestly, you know, we have to be ready for challenges. That's simply what it is, and that's no different than what it was this season. The challenge is always going to be there to do better and be greater, and that's what we're walking into. That's what we're stepping into. So the only way, you know, that you could prepare for the challenge is the preparation and discipline of hard work that you put in, and after that, we just have to let it, you know, when we take the floor, be at our very best.
When did you think during that week in Brooklyn, Drew, we could win this Atlantic 10 tournament? We could go dancing.
So, you know, I don't say this to be cocky, but
Sure.
I felt before we showed up in Brooklyn that we could win it. You know, that was just like a humble confidence that, you know, not only do I have, but our players have and had too. And I think you have to. You gotta understand and feel like you can really win it. I don't want to get into the game and try to realize that or figure it out. I think if you've seen us warm up, we felt like we could win it. If you've seen us the day before practice, we felt like we could win it, and we talked about it. You know, our guys understood it wasn't by any mistake. You know, it was talked about for weeks that we can win this thing, and you know, I thought we had the right pieces. We were playing with the style that could withstand pretty much anything. The way we defended, and it had to, because we went through some major scoring droughts to win the championship game. So, and our connection amongst the guys. When you get towards the end of the year, you know, the coach becomes probably repetitive. And there's not a whole lot of strategic things that are going to change the outcome or change your team that much. It really is the players, the buy-in that they have, the connection that they have to not let each other down. So that was one of the key things that I seen amongst that run, was just their accountability and to each other just rose to another level.
Can you speak to Day Grant and the type of legacy that he put in March for this program?
You know, he recently was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think, you know, and not only him, but Jimmy Clark as well. I think that cements their legacy here at Duquesne University. You know, I had a chance to coach both of them for these past 2 seasons, and to me, the biggest jump they made, right? It didn't have anything to do with the ball bouncing. It was their leadership and their accountability. And I thought that is where they took reins of this program. When they decided that it wasn't just about them, that it was bigger than them, I think they grasped the team, right? The team had their back. They were right there with them. And that was, to me, the biggest improvement, the biggest maturity in both of their games. I always knew they could get it done when it came to skill set and basketball, yes, but they had to make some adjustments.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM Sportsbook. We're going to be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers of the Field of 68 throughout the year. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, you can use bonus code FIELD, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. The best part, all you need to do is deposit and bet $10 of your own hard-earned money to be eligible. Here's how you make it work. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using that bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. and you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure that you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. BetMGM is going to have some fun offers available throughout the NBA playoffs. Bet insurance tokens, odds boost, and what I love, a nice parlay booster too from time to time, as well as a ridiculous array of player prop bets for any sport that you could possibly imagine betting on. BetMGM is and always will be the king of the prop bet. So go download the BetMGM app, use the bonus code FIELD, and sign up today. And while I've got you, a quick request. The best way to support the Field of 68 content that you get for free is to engage with us. Rate and review the podcast. Like and share the YouTube videos. Tell your friends about us. It all helps in a world where the algorithm is king. And now, back to the show.
You've got an ever fluid life right now as a coach in this sport. Things are changing second by second, regardless of where you're at, regardless of what the program is. What is life like right now? What has it been like in the past couple of weeks in this current climate?
You know, it was like people thought I had the press conference and then I was going to start working. Everything was already in motion. It just doesn't stop. It is really the comment of or remark, the next man up, and It takes place immediately. So yes, there's still a lot of things to be accomplished. But myself and our staff, we're working. And that's all I ask of them to do is give me their very best each and every day, to put that on display, not only for us in this office, but for our young men that we retained on this team. And then how can we make our program better? Each decision has to come with that interest. How do we become a better program? Not only from a skill set, but from a character standpoint too.
Do you think it's sustainable the way that the sport is structured at the moment, and what can be done to find a pathway that's more conducive outside of close to 2,000 kids in the transfer portal?
Oh man. I think it is the environment that we're in. And as coaches and even as players, we have to adapt to it in certain ways, and understand that, players and coaches can both pretty much move when they want to. And coaches make salaries now and players make salaries as well. So there has to be, an adjustment
Sure.
made by not only the players, but by the coaches as well. And I think as a coach going through this whole process, you have to know what your core values are, to not be lost or caught up in anything that you didn't intend to be. So for me, I say I'm going to walk in my truths. I'm going to stick in my truths, and I know I can rest at night if I do that. I just ask of my staff to embody those same characteristics as well.
You when you retired, you were Germany's basketball Bundesliga all-time assist leader. A source tells me that's since been eclipsed, but that doesn't matter. When you retire, you were the all-time assist leader, and it gets me thinking. Not every coach can say this. In fact, a lot of them don't. Can you still get out there and hoop? Are you still playing?
You know what? I think I've been sidelined now.
Sideline.
I think one too many moves, one too many drives to the basket finally caught me off guard. I hurt myself a little bit this past season. That's made me sit back and how I'm going to carry out the rest of my lifestyle. as far as staying in shape. And even if I do play a game, play in some basketball games, I got to adjust how I play. I think I need to become more of a jump shooter, work on my post game. But as far as practicing with the players, you know, I don't intend to be in any drills practicing with our players. You know, and I don't even intend to talk about what I used to do, what I could do, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's about what I can get them to do. How can I teach them? And you know, there's been many teachers and over the course of basketball that never even had to bounce the ball. So it helps that I can bounce it a little bit, you know, and explain things a little bit easier. But I use my voice probably more than anything.
Obviously, it's in the news right now. It doesn't take you have to be living under a rock to not know that your high school teammate, LeBron James, will talk with his family and talk with his friends, you being one of his great friends, about what his future entails. That decision is up to him. But one thing that his future entails is that he will be the Duquesne Dukes program insider, correct?
I mean, I don't know if he fully wants to take on the responsibility. You know, he walked out there and said it. So
Right.
maybe he does have a new job title and people are going to be looking for inside information. So, you know, John Rothstein and Jeff Goodman need to start hitting him up for the inside information and and not us.
What when you think back to high school, what was the maybe something funny or something that you and Bron and your other teammates, I don't know if it was the music you were listening to, the playlist that you had on, the movie that you guys love, the snack on the bus that you were eating, the thing or things that you just remember most, aside from all the great basketball and all the wins, like back then that you kind of laugh about now.
I think not to get into any stories, but just the times in the hallways between class, right? Those were the moments where we caught up from what happened that night, where all of us we watched Martin, the comedy series on TV, or we watched some basketball that night, whether it was a college game, whether an NBA game. So I think about those moments around 8:30, 9:30 of us rushing to an area in the hallway and then trying to beat the bell before class. And then, you know, one of the other memories that always sticks out is the bus rides. I think the bus rides are our treasure, right? No matter what level you're at, I think, you know, when you travel with your team, it's just something different. It's something different, even at the highest levels. I know we charter flights now on the planes. Whenever you're traveling amongst that group, there are stories that happen. There's comedy that happens, and to me, those are the things that live on past the paychecks or whatever. Even the championships and the wins, you come back to moments like that, and you know, only your group, only your team can relate to it. You know, only it's a sacred part of the game.
Last but not least, looking ahead to what's next for this program, which has so much great momentum in Duquesne. When you think about year one as the head coach here, what comes to mind with what you want to be able to do, and who might be someone, a guy or two, that you tasked with, hey, we need your voice. We need your voice during the off season. We need your voice in our locker room.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you try to look at the outlook of a season, my biggest thing is take it step by step. You know, that's the same message that I preach to our staff, I preach to our players, right? That We can't. Yes, do we want to win a championship? Yeah, we have that outlook. But it starts in the summertime. That started even once before the summertime hits, right? It starts with how we prepare for this upcoming finals week, right? What's our discipline like in getting to our study tables, meeting with our academic advisors, because things correlate. That's what I always tell our players. There's a correlation between how you do things and what you do. So I'm trying to get them disciplined and doing the right things each and every time, because at some point in some moment in the game, something's going to show up,
Yep.
that you let slip by. Something's going to show up, and we want to be as tight and detailed and buttoned up as we possibly can, so we can marginalize those slip ups. But the outlook is always going to be championships. That's never going to change. And when you do one thing, you want to be able to take it further the next chance you get. So yeah, we did win round one. I want to be able to take it further the next chance and opportunity that we get. Sweet 16, so those are always and forever will be the goals.
Your brother Cam led St. Ignatius High School in Cleveland to a state championship, a massive moment for the program. Your phone lines are I'm assuming his phone lines better be open. You're interested in any potential Wildcats from St. Ignatius coming to Duquesne, correct?
He has a great team over there. So
Yeah, he does.
I'm holding him responsible for telling his players where the best program is for them. It is not too far away from home. No, we have a great relationship, me and my brother. I spend time in his gym to go see his guys, and they're worth it, right? I know he's got some young men that are talented on his team with great skill sets, and the one thing I do know is how they're being, who they're learning from, how they're being challenged, and how they're growing each and every day, and that goes a long way into recruiting. Sometimes it's undervalued. What program did the young man come from? But knowing Cam, I know for the most part, I'm getting a high character young man, a well coached young man. So, that puts a coach at ease a little bit.
Well, Dru Joyce III, you deserve this opportunity, and congratulations to you. And can't wait to see what's in store as you take over the Duquesne Dukes. Thanks so much for joining us on Off the Carousel.
Thank you, John. I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for having